interesting is when I coach people, I don't only coach them in business. I find out the root problems, like a lot of times while they're stuck, maybe unsupportive spouse, whatever it is, guilt, whatever it is, and I try to help them in their life as well. Listen, by no means am I perfect, but I know what's right. I know what's wrong. I know what I would have corrected and what I done wrong. And a lot of times people act a certain way in life because of guilt or because they feel they're being dragged towards a certain direction where they really should be going in another direction. And yes, the phone has really separated us from reality in our world. It's like when you go out to dinner with people. I mean, everyone's on their phone. What the fuck are we out to dinner for? You're wherever you are. You're on a boat. You're wherever you are with people. Like everyone's got to be on their phone
because they got to let the rest of the people know that they're on the boat,
right? But not even that. It's just whatever, texting people or whatever. Like, just be here, be present.
Yeah,
that's why I enjoy going places where, like, you maybe go to a nice restaurant. It's got a steel, roof, and there's no service. You actually have genuine conversations. You talk. You do things. If you're going on a date with someone, go on a date with someone. If you're going to go out with your spouse, go out with your spouse. If you're going to be with your kids and go out to dinner with just your kids, hey guys, phones down. Give me an hour. I don't ask you for much.
Yeah.
And then you really see, like, hey, I said phone down. What's so important? And then it makes them start to realize, like, this is a moment that you'll never get back.
Yeah.
But that phone you have tomorrow. And there's nothing that important that you can't miss right now.
Communication has become very difficult for a lot of people nowadays, because what these phones have done as well is somebody texts you something, you have all the time in the world at this point to respond to them, if you do respond to them. Whereas sitting down and having a genuine conversation, a lot of people become uncomfortable with it. They don't know what to say. What do you talk about? Can I show them a video on my phone? No. We're supposed to sit there and just have a one-on-one conversation. So I think it's a comfort thing that's been going on as well. People are just uncomfortable talking about certain things. Going back to what Armand was saying, as far as holding people accountable, right? If it's a sibling or if it's a cousin, or, hey, you know what? As you mentioned, grandma's not doing well. Did you call grandma? Well, no, I didn't call. Why didn't you call grandma? Those people are afraid of saying they're uncomfortable calling grandma and talking to them because they haven't done it. They don't do it. They're addicted to this shit and communicating that way. But if you tell him text grandma, he'll fucking text grandma in 2 seconds and not worry about it.
Yeah.
It's not genuine. It's basically a task at this point.
All right, it's done.
Yeah. I did it.
And so what my wife and we just recently started doing with our kids. I have a I hate using the halves because sometimes when I say that, the people make fun of me. I can't just say 5 Wi-Fi. Like I have a 5.5 and almost a 7-year-old. Like a few weeks ago, they kind of had a habit of when they would wake up in the morning, they brush up, wash up, and all that, and they come downstairs. And during breakfast, they like to watch cartoons or some sports recap from the night before, whatnot. Like highlights of basketball, soccer, whatever. But a few weeks ago, we were like, you know what? Let's just take away the TV. Maybe at night they can watch a little bit, or on the weekends. Let's see how it changes things. So we did that. We said, okay, guys, no more TV. First day they were kind of like, can we turn it on? Like, no. Remember, we agreed, no TV, right? And surprisingly, it was the one time that was it. That one time they asked, can we turn it on? And the following day, 0 questions about it, as if the TV doesn't even exist. Now they'll sit on the island and they're having breakfast and they're talking about sports and they're talking about, different things and, what do you,
with each other.
yeah, it's like all of a sudden they're asking, what do you call that? Trivia questions. Yeah, they'll start asking each other.
Really?
Oh, who was this basketball player number 40 that played for this team? And they're like, oh, Sean Kemp, or like. And my wife and I were talking about this today. We're looking at each other like, wow, this is fun. Like, I mean, they're actually
yeah, man. You leave kids alone. Take away the tech. They'll figure it out.
because the initially, even sometimes they'll come, they're like, "Papa, I'm bored." I said, "Okay, that's amazing that you're bored." I said, "You think at 6 years old I wasn't bored? We didn't have PlayStation. We didn't even have basketball hoops in Armenia. Like we had outside old school goalie. We could play some soccer maybe, but
And some sticks.
yeah." I'm like, "What do you think I did when I was a kid? You think I had all this entertainment?" And we had board games and we had puzzles and we had Legos and remote control cars and go-karts. I'm like, "Do you really think I had all that?" He goes, "You didn't?" I'm like, "No. We had sticks and dirt and one ball that we played that my dad played with when he was a kid,
That
and
was
now I
probably
was
half flat.
Yeah, there's some duct tape attached to it.
like, we didn't have any of that. It wasn't even available. It was not a matter of money. It just didn't exist. Like uh, there was no community basketball court back then. And if there was one swimming pool, it was empty 11 months out of the year. They maybe would pour water in during like a month of training for the kids, and that's it. It was empty.
Yeah,
So
as my kids were growing up, no video games. I didn't buy them any video games. Uh, Dirt bikes, quads, all that kind of stuff. And this is stuff that we did together, and their friends would always be like, "Oh, look at you guys. You're so lucky." But my friends would be like, "Oh, my sons would be like, "Oh, my friend's got a video game. Can I get it?" No. You want to play
yeah,
video game, you go to his house. But why do all your friends want to be at your house? Because you have the fun, cool stuff. So when you look at that, it's like I believe a lot of people throughout the years, like even especially now, buy a lot of kids video games to like so the parents don't have to interact. So what you're doing is amazing because you're like, hey kids, come back to reality. This is a part of being human, and let's be human together. You got go karts, you got whatever it is. So I always made my kids go outside. Always do that stuff. Get on quads. We do, and this is stuff that we did together, which created a bond versus being like, okay, let's play Wii together. No, fuck that shit. I'm
yeah,
not doing that shit.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the kids that were playing the Wii's and the PlayStations were envying your kids because, dude, what boy at that age with all that energy wouldn't want to go jump on a quad or a dirt bike or something like that?
Yep.
They were envying it. So, I mean, dude, hats off to you, bro. You did it. You did an amazing job raising actual boys,
Yep.
allowing them to fall, hurt themselves, get up, brush themselves off. I know you had a little bit of a slump with the middle one, but I'm glad he's back on board again, and he's tag teaming up with Pops and his older brother.
Buddy of mine called me Christmas time, and it was like I think it was New Christmas Eve. He's running to the store. He goes, "I'm going to go buy my son the new Xbox." I go, "Don't you fucking dare!" And he told me he called three people,
yeah.
all people who are like adventurous like us, like outsiders, and we all said no. So he ended up buying his son a dirt bike. Now his
Mm.
son's racing dirt bikes.
No shit.
Yes.
Nice.
And I go, bro, imagine all his friends have video games. I go, fuck all his friends. I go, dude, you live on a farm. You got 20 something acres. You need to be
Wow.
building pit track for this dude. Like, you need him to just get hurt. His kid's like, 6, 7 years old, driving skid steers around, mini excavators, and fucking dirt bikes. And the kid's now racing dirt bikes, and he's doing great in his class. I go, imagine you bought him. I talked to him the other day. Imagine you bought him that video game.
28, bro. If I had 20 acres, what
Bro, seriously, man.
my kids would be driving tanks and freaking.
Oh, he's got big.
it's like,
He's got big like fire trucks there. He's got crazy shit there.
Dude, I'd build a paintball course with like all this salvaged cars and stuff from town. Dude, like we've said it before in the past, and we'll say it again. When was the last time you saw a kid in a cast?
actually, the other day at the park,
Did you?
my kids were playing soccer. This one kid was playing with a cast on his right foot.
Soccer with a cast on his foot?
Yes, and even my wife Ani's like, "How is he playing with the cast?" I said, "Well, it's a strong cast.
His
He
feet
has
might
the
smell, but it'll be all
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
he has that what is that shoe they wear?
The boot, the actual boot?
Yeah, but the kid was running around like as if he didn't even have a cast on.
That'll take some time to heal.
But no, it's super important, man. Sport. I tell my kids, I'm like, listen. Anytime you want any ball, any goal, any type of hoop, I don't care. I'll buy it for you. Don't talk about video games. Can you buy this video game? And even toys now. I'm like, dude, you don't need toys. You go to Walmart. You look around because you've already had every single toy there when you were a little younger. We're done with toys too. Anything sports related you want, I don't care. You want, I'll buy it for you. no toys. We're done with toys. We're done with anything that's not sports related.
But look at sports. How many privileged kids are
Mhm.
playing sports anymore?
Yeah,
It's always, look at baseball. It's people from China. It's people
yeah,
from Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
People who didn't have that stuff to keep them in the house. People who had to go out there and do something. So all of our sports are by people who just simply couldn't afford the things to keep their time busy and went out there and made themselves busy. And that's what has changed. When we grew up, NBA, everything, NFL, everything is changing. And,
yeah.
Major League Baseball, now it's all people from other countries that are literally leading our teams because of why.
You want me to give you a very good example of one of those? So, soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world, right? And the leading country that has the most World Cups is Brazil. So, when you go back in history and you look at the Brazilian national team, the 5 World Cups that they've won, it was very, very impressive. But when you would go and look at the country of Brazil and what they were playing on like dirt, uneven turf, very, very difficult to play on. But recently, the Brazilian national team has not been so competitive and not so strong. And when people kind of took a couple steps back and they looked at it, they're like, holy shit, bro. They're no longer playing on those dirt fields on the sand. They've got turf, they've got real grass fields, and that
Advancement has backfired for Brazil.
advancement has backfired for Brazil.
They don't have to challenge themselves.
They don't have to challenge themselves.
Wow.
So it reminds me of that story that you were talking about. So a country that was dominating the soccer industry all of a sudden is like, well, Neymar was the last of the Brazilian breeds at this point. I mean, who else is it?
Isn't that new kid the 17-year-old? What's his name?
He's Portuguese,
Oh,
isn't he?
Is he Portuguese?
I think he was Portuguese.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's Portuguese. Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, it's kind of like, all right,
It's because they don't have all the goodies that we have here. We're so spoiled here. Kids are spoiled. Parents, with everything. They just want to keep their kids busy and follow the trends. The trends are video games. Let's entrap the kids. Let everybody get a participation trophy. Your kid sucks, can't even kick the ball, but he's got a trophy.
Yeah.
Just because he showed up. Like
Yeah,
that shit.
9th place ribbon.
Everything was so competitive when we were younger. You had to compete to be. There was only one first place. There was only one winner. But now it's okay. Everyone's a winner.
No,
No water boy.
that part I hate about. I mean, thankfully, where I take my kids to sports, there is none of that. You don't get a 2nd place trophy, unless obviously if it's a grappling match.
Yeah.
There's still the podium 1, 2, 3, right? But soccer match,
Jiu-jitsu.
there is no 2nd place. You're the first loser. I mean,
Yeah.
you were the last winner.